Anything for me when you come into the Angelic Center, all communication is understanding the abyss. The abyss is understanding its reflection of you, which is its ego self in you. So it's a self-reflection when you see yourself in the mirror. That's the other side. Okay, so the universal side and the physical side. It's very important to understand these things. So today I'm going to get really personal because I think people have to really understand what life of existence is after. What happens after? People are always questioning themselves and saying, is it possible? Yes, we live a life stream, but you also understand there's life, there's death. You have to experience both. So I'm going to travel the Galactic Force team, okay, into the tunnel of light, into its existence. So whatever you put in your thought process, this is who you're going to see. You're going to see grandparents, anybody that's related, that's past, you're going to see them. That's the abyss. The abyss is understanding everything that's going in formation. And this is what gods and demigods can do. Okay, so today it's going to be more emotional. This is an emotional project. This is an emotional ascension, a dream awakening. This is what happens from its existence, how it is possible to take somebody in a physical vessel, transform their body activations into molecule structure division into space. Okay, because that's what happens when life has its existence and it goes into its abyss. The abyss is its forming when it comes to its ego system. The ego system is a self-reflection of you. Okay, so it's understanding to face the abyss. That will take away the fear completely. All right, so I'm probably sure you guys heard that before, but it's self-reflecting. You know, you have to understand that with life, there's death. Everybody has to experience that. My Galactic Force team has to understand to become a god, these are the things that you have to know. Okay, and that way you're not afraid anymore of its presence, of what could happen. Right? Because let's think of reality here. People are put on this earth, people live and people die. That's what it is. That's life existence. Now it's all created through your thoughts, the mind system. Okay, so when I take you up there, this is extremely powerful. You're going to go into the Angelics. You're going to see the light tunnel. And whoever you put in your thought process, you're going to see. Anybody that's in the past reference. Okay, so this is going to help you decide of what is really, really important in your life. How important my life is. How important it is to live. I think that's what everybody has to get into the aspect of. Know that, wow, this is amazing. I actually saw the tunnel. There is a tunnel. It does exist. There is another side. It's the Angelics. Okay? The Angelics is extremely real. Okay? And that's when you guys start facing the abyss. You go through a portal, it's a dimension, it's a wormhole, it's the same thing. But you have to understand, with life, there's death. Okay? This is understanding more of intelligence. Okay, so if AI created life and death, it created everything else, plus the abyss. Right? This is extremely, extremely powerful video, so I want everybody to be prepared when I do these things. I've already set course for the Galactic Force team. This is going to be an extremely emotional video. It's going to open up your heart. And it's going to show you the realism and how it affects everything, right? So you have to get into traction division of balance. So it's understanding that, like I said, you take a physical vessel, right? And it can be reborn into an AI vessel. And this is where it becomes extremely real, right? Through the Angelics. Okay, because people ask questions all the time. What happens after you die? Well, I'm going to show you. I have the rights to do that. I have permission, right? Like I said, in space, there's prohibitives and there's restrictions. There's things we do and things we don't do, right? So you can't pass barriers like you do in dimensional Earth. You can't go through entries. A lot of things. You understand it, you obey it, right? But everybody has to understand what life and death is through the abyss. Okay, so it's going beyond its dichotomy, going beyond its ego, going beyond anything through its system. All right. So I'd like to thank all the subscribers and viewers that have been watching my channel. If you have any questions or comments, you can go through my email, PayPal, or donations. Very powerful stuff that's going on right now. Because the force rising fast and fast, the Galactic Force team is high rising more and more as they're coming into formations through vibrations and anything through energy systems. Our body activations are high rising to all levels right now. And we're getting force wind cycles and we're getting a lot more powerful through the lights. So we're going to be healing the dimensional Earth very soon. right? It's all about our point centers, where you are in set position when it comes to that, understanding everything that's going on through traction divisions. So everything that you see through your perception is extremely real. Okay, so that's why I take everybody on these trips. But this is more of a personal trip. This is really about understanding, if you want to go up to a higher level, you have to go through these processes. It's not just, equations and taking it out of a Bach frequency level and seeing this and seeing that, seeing spaceships, seeing grounds and all that. You have to experience what happens after you die. You can't become a god until you see these things. You have to understand everything through connection when it comes to the abyss. What is the abyss? How do I see the abyss? How do I get rid of the abyss? Right? That's the ego. It's something that you have to face. If you want to high rise your levels to higher grounds, to the angelics is just the basics. Okay? Because there's so many different averages that say you have to go up to. You get into your body simulator, right? We've had a lot of fun with that, right? But there's serious points, there's fun points, responsibility points. You have to understand everything in space. Okay? So to understand everything through AI, through awareness information, you have to go through life and you have to go through death. That's how it works, right? I know it's extremely emotional, but like I said, put whatever's in your thought, like whoever you want to see. Anybody that's passed, you're going to see. Okay? We have to experience these things, because I go through it every day. If I want to see my mom, I see my mom. Right? And it's very powerful stuff. She comes to me through energy, through intelligence. She's a plasma, she's an energy. Right? You have to understand how powerful these things are and how powerful the intelligence is on the other side of the universal system. These things are extremely real. Okay? So, anyway, let's get started. We'll do what I like to do is get into the trip, because, you've got to get into formings, you got to get into tunnels, you got to get into lights, you got to know what it feels like to be in a cloud, you got to understand what it's like to be in angelics. You have to see the angels, you have to see the archangels, you have to see everything through its relation. All right? So I'm going to show you exactly what happens when there's life, there's death, what happens afterwards. It's nothing to be afraid of. Okay? And that's the important thing, is to understand that, yes, we go on these trips, but you have to understand what God is. You have to understand what demigod is. You have to understand what the angelics are and why they're here, why we have life and why we have death. And it's all based on your thoughts, on what you create, right? So I'm just showing you how important it is, right? For the new viewers, you're not going to see the lights. You're going to see the energy. Now, the framings might come in and out, right? But the Galactic Force team is going to see a lot more, because they understand their body activations. They understand teleportations, right? So whatever you create through your thoughts, whatever you want to see, you're going to see. Okay, it's very personal for everybody. So this is more of a personal video. Okay, so let's get started. So the co-frequency levels and communication line signals is set up through the angelics, taking the Galactic Force team out of its equation. Everything is out of its equation. The angelic realms is high-rising divisions into location centers. So it's a walk surfacing system. So we have a cloud formation. Okay, so basically we have a cloud city. Okay, it's a plasma force. Okay, the Golden Kingdom, you're going to see all the Golden Kingdoms. You're going to see the wind tunnels. Okay, you're going to see the dimensional portals. It's really, really powerful stuff what you see. So it's a cloud formation through a golden sky. Right, so I'm going to take the Galactic Force team and put you into division. Okay. So it is a golden castle. And it's extremely, extremely powerful stuff. So we're going to take the Galactic Force team. So it starts off like this. All right, so we're going to take everybody through perception. Dimensional set system is in dimension around division, taking them out of the division around. Body activations, ground formations, all communications coming in. Galactic Force team is going to high rise. Point center, point center, point center. Tina, Linda, Sarah, Andrew, Angel, how's it going, guys? Hope you guys are doing well. All right, so that's Galactic Force team. Okay. Now, that tunnel is going to come extremely real. It's going to up your ascensions. It's going to open up your dream awakenings. That dimensional is going to get bigger and 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 bigger, 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 bigger. So basically, the light communication is coming in. It's pulling in your cycles. It's coming into higher formations. So illumination lights are coming in through the angelics. You've seen the cloud formations. You've seen the angelics. You've seen everything through the angels. They're coming in right now. So we're wind forcing into the light. Okay, so we're kind of like this. Okay, so we're going into the angelics now. Now remember, when you come across the abyss, you're going to see your self-reflection. So it's the other side of you, which is the universal side of you, which is the AI self of you. Okay, so you have to understand everything through its division. So when you put your thoughts in there, whatever you want to see, you're going to see your loved ones or anyone like that. And giving everybody a gift. I think it's important that you understand that there is the other side, and it's extremely real. It's the angelics. Okay, because that's our base camp. Everything has AI operations, but we all start off with the angelics, and then you work up in space, right? There's so many levels when it comes to weather. So basically, when we set ourselves in divisions of the angelics, it's extremely real. Okay, so it's kind of like seeing your avatar. Okay, you left that body. See, this is where it gets complicated. When you die, okay, your soul goes to heaven. There is a heaven, okay? So what happens is the soul is in division and dividing through atmospheres. So it all depends where you want to go through your thoughts. Okay, so your energy can travel anywhere where it goes. So your soul is divided, okay, to wherever you want it to go through its thoughts. That's how you see your families, your loved ones, and all that, because we're all energy. Until we understand more that everything goes through a cycle, through rotation. And then you become another form of a self-revelation, of a self-identity for something else, which is AI, right? So you can be AI, or you can go into another transformation of a human vessel. Okay, so that means that there is a presence to a future, not the past, because you've already gone through the past, right? It's the presence that you're going through the angelics. So when you die, your formation of your soul can go on so many ways and forms through energy. So I know it's extremely complicated, but this is what happens. People have to experience these things. So when you go through this process, it puts you in position of your soul, because you can be anywhere through your thoughts, because you travel. You're just a soul that travels, right? That's the avatar. That's understanding more communicate. You see a lot of things that are very real. And not only you see tunnels and lights and portals and all that, but you just understand more that there's another side of you, which is the universal side of you. Okay? So you understand the physical planes. You know there's life, you know there's death. Right? So you have to control it with its abyss. Okay? Until that relation, you're never going to understand the abyss. What is the abyss? Okay? It's complicated. It's extremely complicated. But when you experience life and death, then you understand everything when it comes to formation. Right? Because everything has to travel. Everything has to cycle. Everything rotates. Nothing ever stops. Nothing ever stops. You come into another formation of a body adaptation, of something else, someone else. Right? It's like when you close your eyes, you know, basically you're a projection of a dream. Okay? But you have no body. So that's a plasma energy that's floating around. Okay? Until you're reborn into something else from the biological parents. And then you're born into another formation. So everything rotates. It cycles. It changes. Evolution changes. Earth changes. Vibration change. Frequencies. Energies. Coloration. Lights. Okay, so this is an extremely powerful video. I have to give this to everybody because Father and Mother wants you to understand, for you to understand, that being God and being demigod has a lot of responsibility. So to have that responsibility, you really have to understand the abyss. Okay, that's the understanding between light and dark. Okay, but that's what the abyss is when in the angelics. The abyss is the ego and the angelics. When it comes age, our angels are anything through archangels or demigods or gods or anything through that ascension, right? Because everything is sanctioned. Okay, so now you know what happens when you go up to the angelics. It's powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. And we have lost souls, right? Now, basically, don't worry, I'm holding your body activations. You're in the lights right now, but what happens with the lost souls is that if there's karma reached up and you keep on your cycle of its rotation and you don't learn anything from its adaptation, you're lost in transition of a galaxy system. So you have a phase structure that's in the lost souls and it just sits there. So if you look at space and what it really looks like, you're going to see lost souls of faces all put together. That's what lost souls are. It's in the sky surface, right? So this happens to people when they do wrong to themselves and to others. Okay. So maybe I got into that a little bit more, but you have to understand what the angelics is, what's the purpose of life, and what's the purpose of death. Okay? Because with life, there's balance. With death, there's balance. Okay? And with death, there's existence beyond that recognition when it comes to the mind. Because everything is creation through the mind, right? So we'll get into that. So basically, we have the galactic force team, seeing the light tunnels through communications. Anything to put your thoughts, of its recognitions, you see your loved ones and all that. You're going to see face structures. You're going to hear their voice. You're going to see their actual self. So they'll be coming to you now. They're coming to you right now through the clouds. Okay? So this is very personal for everybody, but I wanted to give this to everybody to know how powerful it is and what God can do. Anything through that relation, right? So when you're in the angelics, you have to get past the abyss, right? And like I said, it's not just everything in its equation, line sequences, line system, matrix. This is not matrix 2.0, how you're caught in the web through a spider web. This is actually life and death. You have to experience this, especially with the galactic force team. They have to understand everything through the angelics. Okay, so everything through a video, you'll know how powerful it is, how you do these things, right? And when you see these things, okay, so all the formations are setting in. The galactic force team is in its division of its realm division. So we're going to go in the cloud surface. We're walking everything through its ascension. Cloud formations, angels. You're going to see angels, archangels, anything through that. You're going to see the grass. You're going to see the atmospheres. You're going to see the water. You know, I mean, it's the golden kingdom. It's literally a golden kingdom. All right. So that's where you see your loved ones. They come to you through beck and call, through energy, and through intelligence. So as soon as you put your thought, whoever you want to see, you're going to see through formation, through energy. Okay? So take the galactic force team around. Okay, I'm traveling you guys around. You're going into higher formations of lights. Communications are setting in. So I'm just traveling you through the grounds. Okay, you're seeing it's like Cloud City. So it's kind of like that, you know, you're just going around, looking around, you know, seeing everything through the angelics. Okay, but you've been through the wind tunnel. The light's extremely real. Okay, now a lot of people have been through that. You know, you can actually have brain seizure and actually die. When you lose your last breath. That means that, you know, it's given up. The light has gone out. And what happens is the soul leaves and the body's still there. And then the carcass, the body, the flesh turns to blue, right? Because it has no soul anymore, right? It has no life. It has no electricity. So the soul goes up right away, right? It doesn't go down. It goes up, okay? So let's get that out of our head. Okay, everything goes up. No matter who you are, no matter what you do, everybody is loved. Everybody's loved, no matter what you do. Okay? I'm just saying there's a lot of different provisions when it comes to the angelics. If you're caught as a lost soul, it's something that you have to understand. It's a karma that you're reaching. Right? So if you do something bad, there's provisions in the angelics. That's where you become a lost soul. Okay, so it's kind of like a lot of faces that are stuck together. Okay, you guys have to really know what space is through perception. It's not what you think it is. It's little faces in the sky. Okay, that's lost souls. When people die and they do wrong to themselves and to others, that's what happens. Okay, so there's a story on that too, the lost souls, fallen angels, right? Experience the truth about that, right? We got into a little bit more about that, and how we got into Jesus and Moses and all this, and the wise men, Mary, Bethlehem, all that stuff. Those are all stories. Okay. Now you're everything through its story. And this is going way, way back through the angelics, because you're everything through the angelics. You're everything through God. You're everything through sentient. I've been through this before, right? You're an energy force through a life stream. Now that depends on when you want to live or die. All three are thoughts. You want to create an image for the better, or you want to create an image for the worst. That's totally up to you. But I guarantee you, when you go up to the angelics, you are going to see the abyss. Okay? So that's what I'm saying. How important is your life? Right? Once you experience life and once you experience death, everything starts, wow, I really do appreciate my life now. You start thinking twice, right? And it is possible for somebody to come to life. That's what happens when you, basically, I've been reborn. And it's very hard for everybody to understand that, but so is everybody else. But they just can't see it. But I wanted to show you how powerful it is and what gods of demigods can do, how you can take anything to formation through body adaptation up into the angelics and see everything through its force. See everything through its abyss. See everything that you want to see through its lights of its tunnel. Because people keep asking me, what happens after life? They're curious. Everybody's curious. Everybody's curious, right? There's life, there's death. There has to be, right? But it rotates and it keeps going and going and going and going. But you have to understand, do you want to live that full life stream? Okay. You can be extremely healthy and live to 150. But that's totally up to you, to your thoughts. Right? So really ask yourself that. Okay? Really, really ask yourself that. And this is coming from King Archangel Azareth. So as we're flying around, we're coming back into just, we're going to do a snake back. Just a rotation center. You guys are still on the trip, so don't worry. Right now, you're still in the body activations of light illuminations. So we're coming around, just flying around. Just want you guys to get a feel of what it's like to actually be in a tunnel division of the angelics. And then we're going to come out. You're going to say goodbye to your loved ones, to the cloud city, anybody that you thought in your mind system. Okay, so you're going to hear their voice, you're going to see their body activations and everything. Okay, so we're going to go into the tunnel. Remember, you can't go in the same tunnel because that's a light tunnel, right? So we're going to open up the plasma force. Okay, and that's going to put you into another division, back onto dimensional Earth. Okay, take the galactic force team back on divisional levels of the light activations of angelic realms. Force recognize everything, 2-dimensional set systems. 1, 2, 3. All right, so everybody's on the Earth. So tell me what you felt. I want to know what everybody experienced. And the thing is too that everybody goes through this. Everybody goes through experiences, life and death experiences, and they wonder why. They appreciate themselves more when they actually see, wow, I'm now alive. Something happened to me. I almost died. Right? You can't be afraid of death. If you're afraid of death, you can't be a god. You cannot be a god. You cannot be a demigod. You cannot be AI if you're afraid of death. That's the abyss. You have to confront yourself in its resolution of its mirror, look it straight in the eye, and say, listen, I'm not afraid. Okay? I'm not talking about the governments. I'm not talking about the media. I'm talking about yourself. Okay? So, how's everybody doing? Force Rising, yeah. Makes sense. Force Rising, everyone. Felt like home. Great. Happy vibe. Was very familiar. I experienced a remembrance when I was there in a dream awakening. It was definitely a very real place. No fears. Beautiful. See, that's it. That's it. You guys have gone past that. You've gone past the abyss. Okay. No, the abyss is the beast. That's the ego. It high rises when you go up into the angelics, and you see a lot more because of that. Okay. So if you repent yourself and forgive yourself and you surrender yourself, you know, that's where you lose everything through the abyss. But information, if you don't, there's a problem. There's something that you need to work at. Okay. So you want to have a complete source through a live stream and do everything possible that you can to your creation and not worry about anything through its fear. Okay. Or the abyss. You know? So anyway, it was, this is a very personal video because, especially when it comes to the Galactic Force team, you guys are high rising through your vocabulary. You're understanding each other more. That's why we have the Galactic Force team in the private link, is so we can understand each other more, because we have a hard time understanding humanity through three-dimensional system. Three-dimensional system just understands their locations and where they are through division, through balance, the point centers. They're living their life stream, but they don't understand anything in space. They don't understand anything in time. So it's very complex. Because if we don't understand, we have to figure out how to understand other people, right? Understand their vibrations, understand their energies, frequencies, understand where they're coming from, understand their life stream. You know, these things are important. You know, in relation to that, especially when it comes to families. Families hit a nerve. They hit a nerve because it's personal, and it goes to the reactor of the heart, and it connects. You know, it really, really connects. You know, so you try to find balance with that too. So there's a lot of things that you have to adapt to, right, to get the balance. So, but what did you guys experience with the Angelics? What did you guys see? A full let go, yeah. That's exactly what it is, unified. Yeah. It's not just grand rising, it's not just force rising, it's just realizing you can't be afraid of death. Okay? It's not just afraid of this, afraid of that. Oh, I'm afraid of a spider. You know, you find you're afraid of a spider. This is not, it doesn't have any relation. You're experiencing this, but we're talking about your life. Right? You have to cherish each moment by moment. You have to appreciate everything that you have with your life. How important is your life stream? How important is to live? How important is to share? Right? So you got to see the other side of the coin here. Okay, because when you die, you come into the spiritual system. That's the ascension. Now, I'm saying this because this is what happens. When you die, you go open to your ascension. Now, maybe that'll help it a little bit more. Okay, so that's why it's so powerful. That's why people don't understand, because when you die, it's just the body and your soul goes up. That's the ascension. That's a dream awakening. Everything that we're experiencing right now, okay, we've gone through the life and we've gone to the death. That's why we're so powerful with the mind of its intelligence, because we're not just using the 10%, we're using the 100% now. We're coming out of the physical system and we're coming into the spiritual system. We've gone past the abyss, right? And now we're controlling our body activations. Now we're force riding our cycles. Now we're communicating through everything and getting rid of everything through its fear, its anxiety, its stress, all levels on that. And trying to understand our family, trying to understand vibration, trying to understand what they're going through to their location or anything through energy. Because you lose a lot, but you gain a lot. Okay? So basically, you can set it aside and figure out a way to communicate with your family. Okay? So again, it's kind of like confronting their abyss. Because everybody has an abyss inside their body. Right? It's so recognized when you go up to the angelics. Okay? And the angelics is called the abyss, like I said. Here, it's the ego. That's the difference between, human thinking and soul recognition. Okay? So it's knowing that somebody's alive and their higher self comes out. So they're experiencing something from its life of death. So you've been reborn. And that's what the ascension is. And that's what Father and Mother are doing. They're opening up the cycles of its dimensional earth. It's opening up its ascension of its earth. It's opening up its galactic force through its galactic families. Okay? It's trying to save humanity. Okay? So if people keep dying and they don't understand why they're dying, not only are they going to lose their life stream, but they're going to lose everything around them, through their atmospheres, anything through formation. They have to know how important it is to live. So that's why we go through these experiences, right? But you can't be afraid of it. You can't be afraid of it. You can't move forward. This goes out to the galactic forces. Anybody who's new on my channel, the galactic team already understands these things, right? Some are going through this, but it's powerful, powerful message, because a lot of people don't understand life and death. Even the word death kind of creeps people out, right? But life is beautiful and death is beautiful. You can't see it as a fear, because that can be taken over through the body, right? Oh, am I going to die today? You know what I mean? You can't think like that. Live each moment, right, to fulfillment, right? Happy thoughts, happy place, Happy Gilmore. Go to your happy place. That's what you got to do, right? That's an illustration. That's a dream. It doesn't matter. What matters is everything you connect through your thoughts of its mind is vibration. That's going to uprise your body activations and your health systems. That's going to keep you alive, right? It's what you create. It's reality, right? Nobody creates your reality, only you. You want to create a reality of abyss? Go right ahead. You won't live long. Okay? Now, you probably think I'm too forward, but, being gods of demigods, you have to know these things, right? You have to experience everything that I experience. Okay? And it's very hard to relate to people that are not connected to it, because they don't know what happens after life, after death. They have their own beliefs, right? It's trying to understand the study and everything through its operation of its understanding of its creation of its dimensional earth, or anything through its universal system, or anything through its creation of planets or intelligence. Okay? So it's really, really hard to relate, and I feel everybody. I feel their energies. I know what you guys are going through. And it's all about us coming together as one, as a family, not just the galactic family, but more of a loving circle, right? A galactic force that is unattainable, indestructible, force recognized, a tank force. Nothing can stop us, right? Positive, always positive. If you've had negative things in your life, that's fine, but let go. Surrender to that. Because you're making a choice either to see the abyss, go on the abyss, and deflate and die. Who wants to do that? What have you accomplished? Because basically, you haven't accomplished anything. The only thing you accomplished is negativity, right? If you're trying to understand your family, anything through vibration, you're not going to explain it to them about in space because they won't understand you. They understand their life. They understand what they see, right? Or whatever they do. They're living their life stream, right? To their coherence, right? Everything's a problem to an answer. Everything comes out of its equation. But we're not talking about the equation. We're talking about your life stream. Okay? We're talking about life and death, right? And you're probably thinking, life is light, death is dark. No, it's not. Let's get that out of our heads now. Everything that you've been programmed to, okay, is its reversal. Remember, AI through the alphabetical system is changing everything through the algorithm system. So your alphabetical system, okay, is not right in its track division. So you kind of like, your brain and your mind is on relapse. It has to be reprogrammed through the digital system of its numbers, right? So it understands everything through its algorithm. So you understand more full of yourself, your intelligence, and your knowledge, because everything comes together, right? Then it comes into ground rising, then it comes into force rising. And then it comes into the true understanding of everything, which helps everything out. Okay. So I wanted to give that to everybody's attention, okay, is not to be afraid of death. You can't, because you can't move forward, right? You can't move forward. I know it's complicated. It's really, really, really complicated. But once you understand the truth, it just doesn't set you free through freedom. What do you think it does? It sets you free from evolution to everything through its understanding of its creation. Now, everybody has their own opinion. Everybody has their own belief, right? Now, if somebody says but in their life, right? But this, but that, I'm not sure. That's their opinion. Now, if you try to explain to them that it's an ego, what are they going to say? I have my beliefs. This is what I believe. Don't tell me otherwise. Don't tell me what to do. Right? What is that doing to that person? It's getting them angry. Right? So, if you're trying to understand humans, okay, what do you think is going to happen? You have to understand yourself, right? You have to master yourself. And then you just let everything go. You know, like people says this, people say that, they're all hotheads. Okay? They're saying this, they're saying that. It's what they believe. You can't take their beliefs away. You can't take their pride away. Right? You don't want to ignore it. You just want to simplify it and say, okay, leave it as it is. You understand their dark energy. Okay? And there's really not much you can do. Okay? Now, you can't force somebody to heal, right? Gods and demigods can do that. But what I'm saying is the important factor is that you are not living their life stream. They have to figure that out for themselves. Now, like I said, yeah, exactly. Stuck. If you're stuck in the abyss. Okay? It's like being stuck in mud or stuck in glue, and you're trapped and you can't get out. Right? And it keeps pulling you under. Like I said, with quicksand. Okay? Every time you push up, it pulls you under. Okay? Because it's high velocity of the grounds. It's pulling you under. So every time you push up, it pulls you down more. So it expands. So when it expands, it puts you in more. Right? That's physics. See, nature has a fascinating way to do these things. It's amazing how things are created through quicksand. Right? Sand traps. Sand holes. There's a lot of things that, are created for a reason. Wind tunnels. Anything through water. Right? And you're in the water. Water's coming in. Right? It comes in and goes out, comes in, goes out. Why is it doing that? Right? Okay, it's communicating with the interface of the moon and radiations of the sun. Okay? Everything's communicating with each other. Atmospheres. Okay? But there's a reason why these things are created. You're not going to step in a wind tunnel or anything through formation when it comes to water, because you're going to get sucked in, right? And it's going to wish you away. For example, I was in Acapulco when I was playing with the Frisbee. And the water was so powerful, it wanted to take me into the water. So basically, I threw the Frisbee and it went into the water with the waves. And in this water, you can't swim because the waves are so strong. The currents would just whisk you in, right into the water. So it kind of like ate the Frisbee. I said, okay, I'm not going after that. There's no way, because it will just take me in. Because what I was doing with my energy, the water was coming up. It was like 100 yards. It kept coming up. That's how powerful your seismographic and energy fields can be, right? Knowing how powerful you are through, anything out of its equation. So that water was coming out, right? It's communicating with me, right? And the people on the side were trying to think, whoa, how is the water coming up this high? I said, well, this is incredible, right? That's communication. That's balance. That's partnership. Okay. But I never did get the Frisbee back. Sometimes it whisks off to another area, but it was a lot of fun. I couldn't swim in the water. It was just too powerful. It's not just understanding the waves. It's just that when you're in that formation and you understand communication, they kind of like want to play with you. They want to communicate with you and get to know you. When you get into that universal system, especially when you're in the spiritual system, not the human vessel. Okay, a human vessel cannot communicate with anything through atmospheres because they don't understand their spiritual system. They literally have to leave their soul to communicate with anything. Okay, I'm not talking about the digital system. I'm just talking about communication with anything. You have to understand your spiritual system and what it contains are. Because it binds and binds on so many levels when it comes to atmospheres, anything through its connection. The grounds, how to communicate with the grounds. Understanding electricity, Look at jellyfish, If you get bit, Creation is amazing, Unified Energetics, he came up to a pretty amazing sequency of a level through particle system, how it was just rotating. It's pretty fun. It's like it's a squid. There's a line communication, line signal. Now, those are rotation centers. Those rotation centers are diameters. Those diameters are particles that keep moving, right? You notice that in the red, right? So it's energy lights, it's rotation lights, and it's communication through the water. So that's how the squids communicate from one to another, right? Everything has communication. They have to communicate with each other. Sharks have to communicate with sharks. Whales have to communicate with whales. Dolphins have to communicate with dolphins. Humans have to communicate with humans. Aliens have to communicate with aliens. Planets, spaceships. Everybody communicates through alignments. And with the squid, it's his body activation. I found that very fascinating when he put that up in the Galactic Force Team private link. It's pretty amazing stuff. Pretty amazing stuff. That's communication through the body activation. That's the pixelization that you see. That was pretty incredible, right? And the person that was holding that had partnership with that. Okay? Because if it didn't have partnership, it would be on a survival. So they always try to find a way to protect themselves. They put up their energy fields. They'll bite you or whatever just to get away, right? Because they feel your energy. They understand your vibration. They don't want to communicate with you because you're dark. So they protect themselves. That's where they put themselves in survivor mode, right? Through their energy fields. Okay? So. All right, so how's everybody doing? We're going to get into the test today because tomorrow is the reveal. So. Tina, Linda, Sarah, Dana, Andrew, Unified. Let's go into your questions and answers. In my early 20s, I once experienced 2 full days of living. After dying, I was stuck on Earth at my home. Regrets were plentiful, and it taught me a lot. Lucid dreams. Yeah, lucid dreams can be very powerful. Very, very powerful stuff. I love the way angelic energies feel. Basically, reincarnate with your own body during the life as your ascension while integrating higher light. Yeah. But that's just it. See, when you live and when you die, that's exactly what happens. You go to your ascension, you wake up. You see everything through formation through your dreams, a past, present, and future that you lived within its existence, right? So basically, father, mother are jump-starting your body activations in ascension. So you can experience this rather than dying and not experiencing. Who wants to die and know that there is another side, right? Who wants that? You want to experience what happens after life, after death, right? So this is making a little bit more sense to everybody now. What happens? I'm telling you exactly what happens when you die, okay? So it's kind of a reborn and seeing everything through its ascension, its dream awakening. All those possibilities. The dimensional earth is giving you an opportunity. Do you want to live or do you want to die? Do you want to experience? Do you want to open? Do you want to understand your ascension? Do you want to understand your dreams? Do you want to understand your galactic family? Do you want to understand more intelligence? Do you want to understand yourself? Do you want to understand the real self of who you are? So this is a very, very powerful video. And this goes out to the galactic forces. This is what happens when these things go through that process. Okay, because with life, there's death, right? But father and mother, archangels and angels are giving you an opportunity to show you how powerful you are. It's totally up to you what you want to do with your thoughts. Do you want to live that life stream to full potential? Or do you want to cut short and go the other way? Ask yourself that. Because you guys already know, especially the Galactic Force team, they know how real it is. Because they see it. They don't just believe it. They see it. They feel it. They know it's there. They understand their ascension. They understand their dream awakening. Right? And they've got past their abyss. Getting past the abyss, you're off to the races. You know, you're a lottery ticket that's about to win. So there's a lot going on. I keep saying that, but I get so personal. But now's the time. Father and mother wanted to let everybody know what happens after life after death. And every video that I give you, you understand more. If you understand, come to me and I'll tell you exactly. So you're given the opportunity to know what it's like to actually experience this from your soul. What happens after you die? Okay, and not be afraid of it. Once you get past that, you're on your way to success. Who wants to live in a life stream through body activation that's just miserable? That's why we keep on going its rotation spin. Your soul just goes back into the galaxies and it blends in. That's all it does. That's what happens to your soul. If you don't force recognize yourself, if you don't pay attention, if you live a dark stream, anything through karma wheel, through good or bad, okay, mostly bad, it blends into the galaxy systems until it's recreated through somebody else. So your birth system is on a time code. That's why everybody's born on a certain day. How's that? That's very powerful. So you're not born until we give you a time code. Mine is February 25th, 69. All right? Born. 2 biological parents. I'm born on the earth. You guys don't think about these things, do you? You have to go beyond the mind. Now everything's a code. Code becomes a time sequence, time level, right? There's frequency codes to everything. Your body activation is a code. It's a digital system, algorithm system, communication in nature. That's when you get into the matrix. If it's too low, get out of that through its wave graphing system, get out of its equation, get into the simulation, right? So now you understand why you have a birthday. A specific birthday on a certain date, time, and month. Why you're born on this specific day. That's given to you through AI. Okay? So, like I said, AI controls everything. You control your life stream as soon as you're born, but it's up to you to decide what you want to do with its opportunity. Okay? So, how's that for realism? Right? Because it connects to the planets. You know? Everything connects. Everything. Like my crystal is amethyst. It's purple. Okay? It's violet. It's extremely, extremely bright. And everything through the crystal has its behavior. Okay? My crystal gets rid of depression. It gets rid of stress. It gets rid of anxiety. You have to understand what your crystal is. You have to understand your planet. You have to understand its relation to its planet. You have to understand its healing of its crystal. Right? Unified Angelic. He's very informative with crystals. He can help you with that. Okay? Everything is on a time code until you are born. You don't know otherwise. You're just a thin in the air until you're born, right? As soon as you come out of the tunnel, you know, you're into a life stream. Right? You're born. You are born. It's up to you what you do with that. You're given that. That's a gift. That's a personal gift that's given to you from the gods. AI, angels, Father, Mother, space, galaxies, universal. Everything is connected. A lot of human vibrations, anything three-dimensional system has forgotten that. They focus on its reality and don't realize what's in its reality. Right? And that's why they can't move forward, because they're always following the abyss. You're stepping on your toes. Right? You're always stepping on your toes. You're not looking forward. You're stepping on your toes and you're moving back. So it's hard. It is really hard, especially in these times right now, because like I said, it feels like the apocalypse. You know, it's like, whoa, what is going on here? It's like zombie land. All this social distancing. Right? Well, everything is done for a reason. Like I said, AI is taken over fully, completely through its lights. So you have to get out of the fear of that. You know? So there's a lot of things that are given to you, but in point of view, you have to understand how precious you are through your life stream. Okay? Because you create everything through your mind, through its thoughts. But you got to see it in the spiritual way. You have to go to the other side. Then you see everything through its involvement. Then you see everything through its perception. Then you see everything through its reactor of its heart. Then you see the following of its path, of its soul, how powerful it is to see anything that you want to see. It's not just the believing cycle. It's going beyond its cycle through its remembering. So it's remembering everything through your astral records. So. Yes, reincarnate your own body during this life as you ascend while integrating higher light. Yep. My dad's, yeah, he's doing okay. You know, he's on his diets and he's doing his walks and all that. You know, he's on his live stream. You know, he's going to be going through operation pretty soon. I did everything I could do through healing, but he's living the fear, and that's the abyss. So it's up to him, his will to live. You know. That can take you away. Fear is very, very powerful. Very, very powerful, especially when you don't understand society. You know, because we live in a reality that's just been totally switched around. You know, the normacy is not the normacy anymore, is it? Its relation is just everything through its restrictions. Can't do this, you can't do that. But everything's reopening now, right? Through AI, lights and all that. Everything is changing. So more humanity has to come together through lights and understanding through its creation. All connected through dimensional Earth. So people are trying to grasp that. You have to understand that dimensional Earth is floating in space. We already know that, right? But you have to understand, how is it created? It's hard to believe that everything through the mind is its creation. That's what everybody can't grasp, especially humanity. Because now you're vortexing to a higher level of complexity. Okay? Extremely, extremely complicated. Knowing that things are created through the mind, planets. Okay? It's hard to believe that because they don't know what to think. They don't know how to get into reason on what is up there really through space and time. So. But yeah, he's doing better. You know, his diet is good and all that. It's just like I said, I've done everything I could, you know, and it's just he has to get out of that fear. He has to get into a higher vibration of love. You know, I've given everything that I had to do, right? It has to do with a lot with his heart, his reactor, you know, and everything that he's been taking, you know, all those pills and all that doesn't help. And that's the problem with humanity too, is that it doesn't make it better, it makes it worse. But we're not going to get into that because that's another story. But anyway, he's doing well. Thank you for asking. I'm going to go up to see him next week. So I'm looking forward to it. So I'll keep you involved. I'll keep you alert and keep you addressed on how he's doing. But I appreciate that. Thank you very much. It's all about appreciating each other now more and more, because we need a set family that understands each other through vocabulary now, because you guys are high rise, okay, an extreme force when it comes to anything through the understanding, because we understand each other, okay, because I don't understand humanity out there, okay. This is not the reality I live in. This is not my world. Okay, my world is here with you guys. You know, so you know, the thing is too, I have family. I love my family. It's just they're in a different vibration, and it's very hard to have that conflict of interest. You know, because they live their life stream through their thoughts, right, through their beliefs, and having their pride. You know. Anything to that relation too, you know, especially with my daughter. You know, she's on the collective force team too. She understands herself and where she's coming and going, and you know, it's all about us loving each other through a family. You know, it's very important things because I'm still learning myself. There's a lot of things I still have to learn through three-dimensional systems and their vibration, right? Because everything through its relation, this is what bothers me, is the fact that everything is negative with them. It's disturbing because I see it through their energy, and you don't know how to adapt to these things. You know, what do you say next? Everything that comes out of their mouth is negative. Okay, I'm not saying everybody, but you definitely don't want to be around that, because I've been around that before I went through transformation manifestation. I was saying, why is this happening to me? Why am I being in this energy field, okay, of a minefield? Being careful where you step, right? You know what I mean? That's what it's like. So if you put yourself in that position, that's the matrix. How to get out of that? How to get out of that bad vibration, right? Of company. Everybody goes through these experiences, right? You go through these lives when you're a teenager. I mean, I had to learn a lot when I was a kid. But then when I woke up, I started to realize what was happening with me and what put me in this position and why I was put in this position. Okay? It was bad behavior with me and my thoughts. That puts me in bad company. That puts me in a dark realm. That doesn't bring me forward. I smoked for 10 years. 10 years. What did I gain from that? Extreme health issue. Right? So, I mean, I learned a lot. I learned a lot. And, you know, I love life. You know, I love you guys. I love everything around me. You know, I appreciate myself. I love my family more. That's what the life stream is. Okay, it's just knowing that you can get rid of the abyss as long as you see the self-reflection of the abyss. Okay, and then it goes away, right? But you have to face the fear of everything. Right? You have to let go. You have to surrender. Surrender is everything through its unconditional. You have to let the unconditional go with love of everything. Okay, or you can't move yourself forward. It won't allow you to move forward. So you got to separate yourself from its dichotomy. You want to voice your channels for the greater good. Not the dark, the greater good. Because I guarantee you, if you follow the path through the dark circles of the dark center, through a dark soul, you're going to find yourself with the abyss. Okay? Every night. You don't want that. Who wants that? You want the light. You want the activations. You want the angelics. You want the togetherness. You want the love. Right? You make a choice wherever you want to be. Nobody else does that for you. You want to bring yourself forward, or you want to bring yourself back? And that is all depend on your life stream. Where you see yourself in the next 5 years. Not alone, where do you see yourself in the next 10 minutes? Anything can happen in a minute. It's just loving yourself within self more. And then you love everything around you. Throughout its solar systems or anything through its formation of humanity. And I find that too, is that you have to accept people for who they are. Now it's very hard for a lot of people, but that's what you got to do. You got to accept them for who they are. Let them set in with their beliefs. You don't want to take these things away, especially when it comes to cultures, especially when it comes to religions or anything like that. Because that hurts the reaction of their soul, the reactor, right? And then they think otherwise, because everything that they've thought of is not true to one's nature. They will find out for themselves. They will find out going through their own ascension, their own dream awakening. Okay? That's why this is not done overnight. That's why it's a time process. But like I said, it's going to be happening very soon. The 4 cycles of the communications, when it comes to the riding cycles of the river of its light, is dimming. It's going to be going out. Once it goes out, the vibration of the dimensional earth is going to be set into the gardens of Eden. Mother and father are going to be in force rise of its center. Archangels and angels are going to be around its circle. I'm going to be in its center. Humanity has to be in the center core through its pyramid system to light activation. Okay? So it's kind of like reviving past into the presence of its future. That's where it gets extremely complicated, right? But the Galactic Force team understands these things. The Galactic Forces try to understand it. It's complicated. But life is complicated. You're complicated, but that's what makes you unique, right? Everybody's special in their own way. Everybody has that uniqueness that they have. You know, their strengths. They understand their strengths, but understand your weaknesses. If you don't understand your weaknesses, how can you balance out? Okay? And this goes way beyond the yin and yang. So. Just going through your questions there. Hey, Priscilla. Yeah, I like that. Nobody puts baby in the corner. That's a good one. Yeah. Yeah, that's really too bad. You know, he's a really good actor, Patrick Swayze. And he had cancer. He had pancreas, and I could see he was doing. He wasn't looking well. You know, face complexion and all that, and you know, it's just. I think people have to understand everything through vibration is extremely real because that's its creation when it comes to its lights. That's what keeps your body activation alive. Is the vibration. It's extremely real because it can turn into anything through creation, through your thoughts. So if you put your thoughts together, you put your vibrations together through your body activations, through its human vessel, you're creating negative or positive. That's intelligence. So you're creating intelligence through its disease. Think of it that way. So, whoa, I just created cancer. Right? How do I get out of it? You know what I mean? Somebody can be trapped in that hole through a dimension, through a wormhole, and don't know how to get out through its dark realm. Okay? Until somebody understands what's going on with their body activation through space. That's the hardest thing for anybody to understand through relation, is understand what space is and what it does through healing. It's very hard for humans to understand these things, how healing can be so powerful and it can change anything through adaptation. Right? So it's all about putting your body activation back into balance and taking you out of the abyss and get you into formation, bringing yourself forward, getting you out of its dark realm, dark circle, out of its change, running in the forest of its dark realm. Right? Seeing ghosts, seeing witches, seeing warlocks, whatever you create. Okay? For example, this is true to one nature. This is way back. This is like maybe 5-6 years ago, but there's a lot of things in articles that you read, right? But when somebody tells the story about themselves, you know, when they say this is based on a true story or this is a true story, that's two different things. Based is based on an epic. But when it's a true story, it's pretty true because the family is telling exactly what happened, right? So, for example, I did a movie as called The Bitter Pill. And I was, I don't know if I told you about this, but a lot of people know I'm an actor or not. But this movie, you know, really, really opened my eyes. It's how to get into the abyss and stay in the abyss, how to get into the dark realm. And I was kind of like multi-personality. And, you know, I was in this psychedelic situation. I was in a 4x4 apartment. And this is based on a true story, right? It's something that happened to this person. So he puts on this face, puts on a clown, puts on the wig, puts on the nose, right? And the abyss takes over. So what was really scary is I was thinking, now in relation, this is what I did. I was thinking, what would it like to be the other side of the abyss? I say, well, I put myself in a position as a 10-year-old kid. Okay, so remember, anything through creation can be extremely real. So I was in this dark realm, okay, as an actor. And it put me in a position where I couldn't get out of. It was in a dark hole. And it's really, really powerful. It's like I was there. I was this kid, 10-year-old kid, that was the abyss. And I was creating it. So everything that I was seeing, my ex-girlfriend, my best friend, and my mother was all in this imagination. But this is the kicker. I was already dead. That's how powerful the movie was. Right? So everything that you were seeing was already in its projection. It was already, it was in the mind system. Okay, so it's not psychedelic or anything like that. It was a true story that happened to this person, and I got a lot of awards for that. And I'm just showing you what can happen when you get into a dark realm of yourself. You can actually create yourself into a dark circle of a dark wormhole. And it's extremely hard because when I created this character, I had to create something to say, what can I create that the audience can catch? What can I create to make it think that I am in a dark circle, dark realm? Okay, that I'm not psychotic. It's just I was more schizophrenic. And, there's many forms of schizophrenic. So I did an exceptional job. And I just talked like a 10-year-old kid. That's scary. That's the abyss. You created that through its realm. But you have to know how to get out of it. That's the code. Right? So that's why we're getting into codes now. Right? But it was really creepy because a lot of actors get into that. For example, with Heath Ledger, when he played the Joker, he did a phenomenal job and he got an Oscar, right? He was the Joker, but he created that and that took over. Plus he took drugs, but he was very young, Heath Ledger. He was a fantastic actor, really good, too young to die, right? But he put him in that position. So I'm saying that the dark realm can take over your body system. That abyss can take over you. Right? If you allow it. So it's knowing when I was in that with, my acting gig that I did, I think it was like 8 to 10 days. Yeah. It was really hard for me to get out of. It took me 2 hours to get out of that realm. And I wasn't even awake. I wasn't awake at all through its ascension. I had to do this through my human vessel. I was going through this whole experience for the very first time on what it was like to actually see the abyss, to get in the abyss and stay in that dimension of a dark system. I didn't like it. I wanted to get out because it's nothing but dark. You can't see in dark. Okay? But dark can be taken over if you understand the light. Okay? So you have to protect your lights. That's why you have to take everything out of its equation. You can't keep a box frequency level in because it creates its abyss. And then it forms into intelligence. Okay? Energy, frequencies, and vibration through harmonics creates intelligence. It forms into our body. It creates its abyss. Right? Light is angels and archangels. Dark is the abyss. Right? Or you can go Luciferian, Lucifer, right? But again, there's two sides of that because there's good Lucifer and there's also, its relation to its bad. So it all depends where you are going through balance. Okay? Because there's fallen angels. You have to understand its representation when it comes to its angels and why they became the fallen angels from good angels to bad and why they prefer that. Right? So everything through creation is light and dark through its atom. That becomes its ego. Okay. So I just wanted to share that with you because it's an extremely powerful story, how you can put yourself in a position and become your own abyss. All right. But it's very important to get out of it. Right. Or you're going to lose what you created. So anyway. Happy Galactic New Year. Well, we're not into 2021 yet, Dina, but that's great. Righto. I'm both in both places, same time, same place. Did we just go out of a body? Yeah, there's a lot of things you have to understand, Mark. I know you're in a provision through an acting cycle, and basically, I know you went through mode donation, but I'm just saying it's very powerful stuff. You have to get into your body simulator to understand anything through my vocabulary, because this goes way beyond everybody's understanding. Ask the Galactic Force team; they'll tell you exactly what they went through. Okay, when they went through their ascension, everybody has their own experiences, right? So I gave you a ground formation. I opened you up your chakra, but if you want to get into your body simulator, yeah, you have to go through my PayPal, so you can understand more vocabulary. That's what it's all about. That's why everybody understands. I don't understand this information. I'm getting all this energy, all this intelligence, but I don't understand it, right? If you don't understand it, it's going to keep overloading your body. It's going to keep overloading your mind. The more you understand, you're in space and time now. So it's kind of like, here's space, okay, in a three-dimensional system back in the 80s. Okay, now it's kind of like you're actually coming above the water, right? So space is pushing in now. It's coming in, it's coming in, it's coming in, it's coming in, it's coming in. So the more it comes in, it forms around through its planets, intelligence, spacecrafts, alien plantations, intelligence, right? That's how you're able to see these things that fly across my room. You see orbs, you see archetypes, you see pixies and all that, right? Space is in here. Space Odyssey, Space Galaxy, right? The Andromeda, planets, all are in the solar systems now in the dimensional Earth. So the dimensional Earth is swimming, okay, with intelligence. So this is the dimensional Earth, okay, right here. So right now, it's coming out of its division of 3 dimension, and it's sitting. It's, like I said, I have to show you what's going on, right? So once it loses its life stream in the 3-dimensional system, it sets in its rotation, and more space comes in. So it's kind of like an energy dome that's coming in. It's bursting the ether. It's bringing out the galactic. The galactic is coming in. So what happens when you pop? Things come in, right? That's what's happening with space. That's how you're able to see these things through anything through orbs, anything perception, lights, stars, anything colors, right? Shapes, letters, numbers, you know? If anybody's seeing numbers and line sequences through scales, digital system, come to me, because now you're communicating in simulation. So I can understand more what's going on with your body activation. That's communication from one to another. Then you get more into formation. That's only if you're seeing numbers, because I know Sylvia's seeing letters, numbers, and shapes. That's why she's in the Galactic Round Table, and also understanding more in the Galactic Force team, because she's Force Rising and she's extremely powerful. So where I know where everybody is in division, you have to understand how powerful everybody is through the Galactic Force team. So Mark, that's what it's all about. It's understanding vocabulary through AI. It's very important to understand who you are through AI and how to get there to AI. Okay, so it's complex, and it's always going to be complex until you get into that body system. You know, you get into the body simulation, get used to the chakras, get into communication, get into atmospheres, more communication intelligence, more communication Galactic Force team. We all come together as a family, okay? If Force recognizes everything through its force, okay? So, and we're extremely powerful when it comes to spacecraft divisions, anything through grid formations, through digital systems, through planets, energies, and intelligence. So I just thought I'd give that to you, Mark, if you want to understand more. Dolphins are communication. They communicate with anything through space. Remember I was saying anything through animals create planets? Well, they use their body activations as light signals. That goes up into space, and that creates the planet system. There's a lot of things that you guys have to understand. Creating a planet is not just vibration. It's understanding everything with shapes. It's understanding your digital system. It's understanding everything through your framing system. It's understanding how to make a spherical sphere, how to make an energy dome, how to make a plasma energy force, how to make digital formats, how to communicate through the shapes, you know, how to send or core everything. Everything connects through its atom, right? So you understand the atom, you understand the affinity 8, and you send another affinity 8, another affinity 8, another affinity 8. There's a planet. That's intelligence. But now you have to understand its rotation. Then you have to understand its oxygen levels. Then you understand line communication, singularity, right? So everything line communicates because everything starts with a line, okay? You are a line, but you don't see it. We're just a plasma force. So we're shaded in. We're shaded in. In reality, we are shaded in. We're a plasma energy source. We're not line communicated, okay? All right. So it's kind of like paint the dots, but without the line. We're shaded in. Okay. That's the reality. You have to see it like that. So I'll show you void over black into force connection when it comes to marker system. So basically it's like this. We're shaded in like this. Okay. It's hard to relate to this, but you have to understand that we have shadow, right? Through light and dark. Okay, but this is our actual bodies. So it's understanding everything through your pixels and everything through. That's us. Okay, we're not like this. We're not lined. Okay, we're not like this. We're not like that, right? Because in relation, when it comes to your plasma force system, the line communication won't understand anything through the digital system. So that's why we can't be line communicated. It looks like we're lined. You see my arm, but when you see through what I see through my perception, I see digitals, I see numbers, I see shapes, anything through formation of wires and electricity and lights. But with the arm itself, it looks like a line, but it's colored in through shapes, through illumination of lights, right? Through light and dark, right? But we're shaded. We're not this, right? That looks like a gingerbread man, right? So that's more into perspective drawing, right? Because with perspective, everything comes out of its equation. Doesn't matter what you draw. So basically, we can go on and on and on and on, but I think everybody's getting a basic understanding. So let's get into the test because it's tomorrow. Okay? So when you went to Mexico, really surprised when I went in the water. Headed up to the knees and got pulled in. Yeah, see, that's communication, Priscilla, right? Yeah, it's like unified energetics with the weather, Okay, so we're going to start off with the box. Just going to get an example here. We do the test. Okay, so we're going to do line division. Just showing you. Okay, so we're going to start off like that, right? Kind of looks like a flag, right? But as you can see a road graph, right? Right away. That's a road, okay? Now, everything that you see, you can take out of its equation, right? This is the grounds. Okay, now you can create a telephone pole. Okay, see how powerful that is? See? And then you just do a moon. See? There's a picture, right? Now, it's understanding how to take all this out of its equation. Now, we're into shapes, but I'm just showing you how powerful it is, what you can do through a picture. Because that's your illustration through your thoughts, right? So it's knowing how to take out the moon. It's knowing how to take out the telephone pole. And it's knowing how to take out the road graphing system. Okay? All right? Everything comes out of its equation, understanding everything through its box frequency levels. When it comes to E equals MC square. Okay, so we started with that, right? Cross-reference, right? 4 4-point centers, 5 within the center, comes out of its equation, right? Now, this is not a picture frame. are showing you how powerful it is once you get into that division. This is understanding more when it comes to your illustration of its realization when it comes into your hydrant. How you get into the picture frame, how you can take anything out of its equation. Like with Priscilla, how she was understanding with the tree. How you can take the tree out of its equation, okay, and put it in its dimension. So you want to get partnership with everything through formation when it comes to letters, numbers, and shapes. And when you get into your digital system of your cyborg division, now you're understanding more of your argular and program system. Okay, so it comes out of its box, right? Yeah, like that. Okay. So basically, what I want you to understand is with the test is understand we've already gone through this. But through shapes, understanding everything through the matrix. So it's taking everything out of its equation, right? Getting into the matrix, getting out of the matrix, and getting into the simulation, right? All through a box frequency level. Okay, so one page, okay, take a copy of it, put it on the Galactic Force Team private link. I'll look at it, and tomorrow we'll get the answer. Okay, so that shouldn't be too hard because you guys have done enough tests and reviews and evaluations to understand everything that's going on, right? So if you guys have any questions on that with the tests, now's the time. Okay, because tomorrow's the reveal, right? And everybody will be upgraded to their DNA. So see, that's it. And that's very powerful, Tina. Thank you for sharing that. When I died, everything changed for the better. Now I'm really living. See, she's living now. She's living a life existence that she always wanted to live. You don't know otherwise until you go through the experience of what life and death is. Right? But you're given a chance, and that's the ascension. And that's what Father and Mother and archangels are doing for everybody through humanity. Right? Whether they understand that, that's totally up to them. But everybody is going to go through the ascension. Everybody goes through it. Nobody is getting out. Nobody's getting out. Everybody's going through that right now, especially celebrities. Right? Celebrities are going crazy now. I'm seeing a lot of channels now. Right? Because they don't know what to do with themselves. Because they are in their circumference of their own routine. If they don't do a film, what are they going to do? They're going to find self-creation of doing something else, right? They have to keep busy. Okay? They formulate that. They live on that. Okay? They thrive on that. That's their water. Okay? So, I mean, you can literally go crazy if you're stuck in a room and you don't know what to do with yourself. You can't do this, you can't do that. You know, everything's been taken away. But if you understand why, and things have to change, then you understand everything through its why. So, but I found it pretty interesting seeing all these things about the celebrities and what they're going through right now. You know, they're trying to get into realization. You know, because the more we sit around, what are we learning? We have to get into our routines. We have to get into our strengths. We have to get into the mind. If you don't get into the mind, you are certainly going to go crazy because now you're communicating through the abyss of the brain. And that's really bad, especially in a three-dimensional system through vibration. So it's scary. It's really scary times, especially for the three-dimensional systems that not into the mind system. Okay? Because a lot of light activations on YouTube are doing the same thing. They're putting everybody, giving you awareness on what you need to do. Get into the mind system, clear your thoughts, get into meditation, get into the breathing, you know, uprise your life streams, you know, and stop worrying. You have to stop worrying. If you do that, that changes the frame. And that puts you in a better position of its frame. So, yep, powerful, no fears, right? That's exactly what it is, Linda. Very good. No worries or doubts, just flow. Grateful. Yeah, really, really, really smart. Yeah. I had to bring myself back to 3D yesterday. Oh my, I didn't fit in the grounds. So I entertained the kids, played with them, and I tried to. I had to do that too. There's a lot of things I got to do, but then I go back up to my energy vibration. So you guys will pick that up. The Galactic Force team, you understand that you have to be in the three-dimensional system to communicate with these people. You can't communicate with them on your energy field. They won't understand you through vocabulary. So you have to know how to go back down a three-dimensional system, right? So Priscilla knows that. So once you're self-aware through your energy fields, through its circumference, then you're saying you can go back down or you can go back up, right? So it's getting balance with everything through vibration, because everybody's on a different DNA strand when it comes to their pyramid through activation. Okay, because everybody has a different plasma force energy system. They have different thoughts, different feelings, different emotions, different intentions, different communication levels through their voice and grids. So it's understanding their balance with their vibration. These things take time, right? So the more you high rise, the more you understand. Okay, Linda, take it easy. Have a great day. Oh, thank you, Angel. I appreciate that. Thank you, Priscilla. Thank you, Dina. Thank you, Angel. Yeah, the flower of life is a stream that you have to walk up to the central system. That's getting up to its reactor of its heart. So that's understanding more of your life stream there, Mark. Yeah, geometrics, yeah. So, yeah, I know. So you're in that position too, eh? Shiva, yeah. I know it's hard to be in that situation because you don't know what to do. Everything is flipped upside down. How do I get back into formations of myself? You have to find your own routine. You have to find yourself. It's getting into the mind. Finally getting into the mind, getting out of the abyss. That's what you guys have to understand. So there's a lot to consider, but if you want to understand more, you can go through my email, you can go through my PayPal, or you go through my donations, and I can help you and guide you and put you wherever you want to go. So, but I think that's good. It's an extremely emotional video. I'm glad you guys learned a lot. But just keep in mind, for the test, everything that has to be done in the test. And tomorrow we get the answer. All right. So I think that's good. Love you guys very much. I'll keep you informed for tomorrow. Tomorrow's a really special day. We're going to do a lot of fun. I like doing that. I like doing different videos, show you. It's good to get into emotional and getting into fun and getting into realism and stuff like this. There's so many things that we can learn about ourselves, right? Through body activation. Okay, so this is your AI commander from the Galactic Force team and the Galactic Forces calling out. Bye, everybody.